And here we go. All right, so on this one, we're going to start with this lead term, negative 15, x to the fourth. And then there's a bunch of terms that don't even matter. I've been trying to explain to you that anything that's not in the lead doesn't really matter, like how the story ends. Like it doesn't tell you the right end or the left end. But that last number matters. Who remembers what that last number does? I'm going to give you a hint. Yesterday there was two things we had to find out, the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. What's that last number? The y-intercept. Okay, so I know from this graph that the y-intercept was 5. Boom. For sure. Is it always the last number? No. It's always whatever. Whenever you put in x equals 0, do you get that? You find the y-intercept? When x equals 0. I've repeated that to you like 60 times. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. All right, so here's another way to find the y-intercept. That's where, let's say we had it in this form. What's the y-intercept there? It's not the last number. The y-intercept is where, what again? Where x is 0. Look at this. Y is, some people think that 2 counts. That 2 is being times by 0. It's gone. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Do you get on this graph? It goes through a y-intercept of negative 20. Okay, so there's how to find the y-intercept. That's a big deal. You got to for sure know how to do that. All right. What does this thing tell me again? It's called the lead term. Name one thing it does. Yes? The degree. And the degree is 4. The fact that that's even says something. Remember? The ends are the same. They're either both up or both down. Bennett, do you remember how to tell whether they're both up or both down? Yeah, this is even, and so they're both the same. But what I'm asking is, are they both up or are they both down? Hint, that tells you. They're both down. All right, cool. Okay, and this 15 really doesn't tell you much. It's just the negative here and this degree here. All right. So, last thought. I showed you how to find that lead term from something like this, but I'm going to give you an extra tricky one. What's the lead term and what's the y-intercept? We're about 3 minutes from being done. Hannah, what's the lead term? Nice. Negative 2x. And then there's another x, so negative 2x squared. Good. And that tells you all kinds of things. It tells you the degree. It tells you that it's down on the right. It tells you that they're both the same direction because it's even. But what's the y-intercept? Poppy. And you got that from putting in x equals 0, right? Yeah. So then that gave you 5 times 4, which is y is 20. Now, if I was going to write it, though, I wouldn't write y equals 20. It's the y-intercept, so x is 0, 0, comma 20. If I'm putting it on a picture, it's easier. I just go down to 20 and I go, oh, wait, positive 20. I put it like that. But if you have to write it, don't forget, a y-intercept is a point. Y equals 20 is a line. This is not a line. It's a point. Okay, cool. Now, one last thing. I started to just tell you that this is what was coming. What if things get squared like this? What's the lead term now? This is the last question. Focus. Give me your best. What's the lead? But be careful. Hudson, do you get why a kid would say that it's x squared, but I'm warning you it's not?
Yeah.
Because they would go x and x, it's x squared. We just did one like that a second ago. What is it actually, Hudson?
Maybe that's the thing.
All right. Now let me ask you this. Who just realized that it's also not negative? Yes, Marcel, why is it not negative?
Because one is positive and one is negative.
So, if I'm not sure how the way by you said what you just said, whether or not you mean this, but here's what you should mean. That -1 is going to get squared, and that -1 squared turns positive. That's why it's positive. Now, it might be what you said, just in a different way. I don't know. All right. So, it's actually positive. A ton of kids are going to get that wrong on the test. Just warning you about that. All right, so then, of course, that means it's going up on the right, and that's a big difference from going down. All right. Okay, then last thought. Here's the picture of this one, and I know it goes through -4. That one's easy. Anybody can do that. But what the heck do you do for this one? How do you figure out where the x-intercept is? There's another dot somewhere. You set -x plus 3 equal to 0, and you solve it. See, this equals 0, so make an equation like that. -x plus 3 equals 0, and then you subtract 3 from both sides. And -x equals -3, so x equals 3. I know that's confusing, but if you put the 3 right here, do you get it's going to make it equal 0? Because then it'll be -3 plus 3, which is 0. Cool. So 3 I got from this equation, which I got from setting that equal to 0. Okay, so here's 3. Boom. Now, can you finish it? I know where the line goes. Do you? Warning. It's going to feel wrong because we know that it goes up on this end. We know that since it's odd, it's going to go down on this end. And you're going to be like, there's no way to do that. But there is. Don't say it. It can't do that or it'll end up going up. Do you remember the deal where since this is squared, it's going to bounce off of that and then go down like that? Who actually had that on your paper? Nice. Okay. Okay, then one more just little pro tip that those of you that showed up today, I guess some people actually bought out, so it's fine. If they watch this video, they'll get this pro tip too. Another thing that's going to happen on your test that tons of kids are going to get wrong is this one, because the lone X in front confuses people. And they're like, well, I know it goes through 3 for that. I know it goes through -5 for that, but they get baffled on this one. All right, so let me talk you through it. When you're really doing this, what are you really doing? You're doing x plus 5 equals 0, and you solve it, and you get -5. What are you really doing here? You're doing x minus 3 equals 0, and then you solve it, and that gives you your 3. But what are you really doing here? Set it equals 0 again. That's what I did the last 2 times. Set it equals 0, set it equals 0, x equals 0. That's what it is. It's 0. That's a place. It touches there. I get how that's confusing. I totally get how that's weird. But really what this is that part needs to equal 0. That part needs to equal 0. And this part needs to equal 0. So x equals 0. And that's why it touches here. Now, those of you that are here today or watch this video, you won't make that mistake on the test, I hope. An x by itself out here is going through 0 right there. And let's just finish this one. The lead term on it would be y equals x to the third, so that means it's going, since it's positive, it's going up on the right. There's no squareds, so there's no bounces. So it just passes through that, goes down that, through that way, and there we go. Okay, there's your review. Now you're smarter than you used to be, and you know some of the things to keep from mistakes on your next test. And now what do you do for the rest of the hour? I strongly recommend that you work on math, because if you get stuck, there's like a tutor right there who gets paid big bucks outside the room to teach people math, but I'm free right here, so get my help. Use this time for math. But if you really have English to do that's more important, fine, do that. Just work on something. And if you have nothing else to do, then go just hang out and enjoy the day.